Hi guys, biracial Tiffany here. Here's the second part of the Cory interview. Oh, and a very special thank you to Shelby and Going Green 1, who actually came to see the play and didn't get to see it because it was too full. It was really disappointing, but I beyond appreciate that. So thanks guys.
I'm realizing now I like New York City a lot because it just accepts anybody, you know,
Right.
no matter who you are.
Well then how do you, in what ways do you still act different in certain groups?
Well, it's just, for me it's just like if you hang around older people, you're more polite, younger people.
Right.
It just happens naturally to me. But if I'm around black people, I'll just speak differently. It's who I am. It's not like trying to be anything.
Right. It's relying more heavily on one side.
Yeah, it just depends on like what button you press.
Right.
You know?
That's a really cool way to put it.
And then again, it's like, are you this or that? Are you this or that? And I can't really, I could never say one or the other.
What boxes did you check when you went to school? Do you remember that?
I would check multiracial.
Oh, you had that?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that
You
box.
didn't have that?
My mom told me to check the black box.
Really? Yeah.
For sure. So did your
She
mom?
didn't tell me to check the black box. My mom, she told me, she always told me that I was mixed. And that's it. But I do know people that have parents that do say that. Like,
You're black.
you're black, yeah. Which is understandable because of back in the day, you know, that's how it was. You know?
Right.
But now it's different. I hear a lot of black people say, you're denying the black side. So now it's acceptable that if you're black and white, you're black and white. I mean, yeah, but I think it's not saying you're not black. I think it's just saying you are black and you are
Right.
white.
You're not exclusively black.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite way of
Exactly.
putting
Yeah,
it these
that's-
days.
yeah.
I have Jennifer Beals to thank for that. But it's, you know, because I don't want to say I'm not just black, because that just, it's, you know, there's just something slightly negative about
Yes,
that. Like I'm not
exactly.
only that, I'm more than that, and
Yeah.
that is not the point,
Exactly.
right?
Because I like being black.
Could you also say I like being white?
Mm-hmm. I do. And I just feel that way in my heart. And I think it's also because when I go outside and I tell people, you know, I'm mixed, they're like, oh, really? Like, they don't even know that. I don't even think I'm mixed. So I think the way people look at you has a lot to do with it, too. Like, I've always been mistaken for Hispanic, really.
Right.
So I think that me saying that I feel like I'm white too would be more understandable than somebody who had maybe like darker features because of the way sometimes it's the way you look, you know.
Right. It is a lot
that
the way
makes
you look,
sense.
but then I think, well, that's not fair. Darker than I am, I would still feel as white in certain ways as I do, and yet it's like in my heart, like you say, I think, like I like how you say that. I think I guess I do feel white in my heart, but I don't think I feel it in my mind because I'm not perceived that way, and because I was told I was black for so long. I get the feeling from you don't have that same barrier that I do.
I do in certain situations, but in certain situations I don't. Because I've been in like situations where I've been around white people that have said racist comments about black people in front of me.
Not realizing you were black or not caring?
Not realizing.
And what did you say?
You're stupid.
Right. I do.
I went to high school and I would be around that stuff and it would just be, like stupid, like don't you get it, you know? Yeah, I've been around that, so I feel like I'm in a special little category, sort of say, because I've been around white people who have said racist comments in front of me, and I've been around black people who have said racist comments in front of me.
That's happened to me too, and I don't even think anything of it when black people make racist comments about white people. It's almost like I expect it, or that's justified. I mean, I know what it's about, but isn't that worth being like, maybe that's not so appropriate?
Yeah.
Anyway, what did your dad tell you about race, if anything?
He was really open about it, and still is today. They're still together in my family. He said that, he always said that I was just mixed. he would always be accepting of about black people's ways of thinking, because you'd always have to be around it with my mom. Going to Michigan, going to the family reunions and all that. And they actually loved him to death. He's like that, that white guy that all the black people love, because he was just a nice guy. He wouldn't start anything, he wouldn't start any situation, he would just be a nice guy. So who wouldn't like a nice guy, So that's the thing, everybody, if you're nice, then get by, In a lot of situations.
Amen. Because I always wonder what it would be like to have a white mom.
Mm-hmm.
You just said before we started the interview that you do wonder, or you can't imagine what it would be like to have a black dad. Do you feel like your dad can't relate to you on some level because you go through life as a black man, even though you kind of like go through life as a Hispanic man based on people's perceptions? It seems like you're saying, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. There's some things that he can't relate to, but when it comes down to it, me growing up, not running around with this "I'm black" label, I think it kind of makes him, it kind of brings the bridge over to my dad. So it's like a gray area, which he can kind of dip his foot in a little bit, because he is.
It's like he's black by association.
Exactly.
I've heard some white parents say.
Black by association. And also living with my mom, he can kind of get a gist of what it feels like to be black.
Right, so he's not gonna, if you say, oh my god, this racist asshole said this to me, he's not gonna be like, oh, I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah.
I often get frustrated when I might mention to a white person that something shady went down and I thought it had to do with race, and they're like, oh no, I'm sure they were just having a bad day, but no, really, they were being racist.
Yeah.
And that's like even more insulting that you cannot accept this.
Exactly, yeah.
But because your dad's experience with your family is such, like, you don't, and I'm not saying that my dad has ever said anything like that to me. He gets that too.
He would see racism and he would know it when he sees it, so yeah, he would understand if something happened or whatever. He would totally be rational about it. But he also isn't like that person who always thinks something is about race. You can't be obsessed with it, and you have to be the best person you can be, and be willing to break those stereotypes and be willing to break those barriers. And you can be successful.
Okay, you know how, like, I often talk about relationships with black females being, at times, being tense. Is there any similar tension between a biracial male and a black male in your experience?
Yes.
And what's that like? Because I don't hear about that.
I don't try to act rough or tough, and I found that a lot of black men would think that I'm trying to be white.
And does that mean you're trying to be better, or is that
when they found out I was mixed? Because they wouldn't. Does that make sense?
Well, it doesn't make sense, but I know what you mean.
Do you know what I'm saying? I know who I am, and I don't speak. I can speak with the slang if I get comfortable with. So normally I just speak like.
Do you like how you said there's jealousy, and we can point to all the reasons that it's there, and we're not like pooping on people who have moments of jealousy, but. Is there a jealousy associated with the fact that you're acting white? Like, is there a jealousy that you're able to do that, just like a black woman would be jealous of straighter hair? Is that part of it at all?
Probably. Yeah. And this isn't all. I have black male friends. It's not all, but it's
of course.
The ones that are ignorant about who they are that react that way. They think they're lower. Why would you, so you're going to respond like that?
Right.
But it's like, if you realize you're just another human being like me, and we are the same people, then you won't find that tension.
Yeah. So it's been twisted to look like we think that we're better, but really it's that you think that you're lower.
You're lower, yeah.
And hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's twisted.
It is twisted.
I've seen it. I've been through it.
That was like a revelation of sorts for me.
It's been twisted.